the blue and yellow building on the right, that's where water gets discharged to. We do have 2 groundwater wells on site, but we don't really use them. We reuse this water. It's in this building is where it's the kickoff point for fire water, process water, and water services for all the facilities. They begin here. Okay, I mentioned that we take environmental protection fairly seriously here. This building here will sort out recyclables. That building over there is extremely similar. We're going to be doing some processing of organic materials in that building. As we do that, yes, the buildings are sheltered, but inherently water will become a part of these processes. Well, what happens to that wastewater as we use it and as it hits the floor? Take note of two storm drains that we have here. Actually, this one is not a storm drain. This is designed to catch any water that hits the floor of this facility, similar to that facility. It then goes and gets directed into a separator system, which then takes it to another separator system, and then we decide, is this wastewater? What type of treatment system is required of that? What we don't want is rainwater commingling this with this, so we have a difference in elevation. Stormwater is out there. If by some wild chance we were to have waters escape this, we have gates on all of our stormwater trenches. We can shut them down, contain that water, pump it out. So yeah, we take our stormwater and our water even within covered facilities very seriously. Behind me is our first sort facility. And this sort facility is designed to sort as much as 30 tons per hour. So if we were to run it 2 shifts, it would be 600 tons a day. Commingled recyclables would get dropped on the floor that would get picked up and put into the feeder. The feeder then levels out that recyclable material, goes up the incline, and it'll be manual sorting, much like they do in San Jose or Oakland. From there it goes to screen. It's actually rotating discs. Smaller materials will fall down below and go up and go through a belt magnet, which will pick up any metallic items. Then I'll go through even another screen, which then separates what we call fines, very, very small pieces from larger materials. Then it goes into the final sorting and separation. The construction you're looking at now are what we call bunker walls. They are walls separating the different areas. So when the recycler up on top, if that man or woman is in charge of pulling out cardboard, take cardboard out and put it down the cardboard chute. Then the shift manager, during the day, when an area fills up, it'll go into a trench that sits in between these 2 sort lines. The shift manager will call and say, geez, I want cardboard. Bring the cardboard, shove it into the pit. Up the incline it goes, and that far machine right down the center, that's a baler. And that'll take the stuff, it'll compact whatever medium we want, whether it's plastics or cardboard or paper, bale it, put it in a cube, put wire around it, and out the back end it goes. And then we can load it up on a truck and it'll be off to processing.
So how many employees will work around here for this session?
Here, the maximum, well, I shouldn't say the maximum. When we're running 2 shifts, you're looking at about 300 employees to keep this facility going at all levels. And that's just this one. We have the ability and spatial to expand, right? The city is trying to deliver those co-mingled recyclables to us. And when they do meet their obligation, this system will be up and running.
So the reason why this facility is too high like this, it's impressed, or you have the reason why?
I don't get asked that very often, but yeah, I asked that myself. Primarily, it's air movement. All right. The idea of taking and shaving 3 or 4 meters off of this, there wasn't enough savings in that effort. All right. Having the air moving through this building was important. We are in the tropics. We also, at the time of designing this building, we had this sort of facility identified. However, there are options for other sorting facilities that go over 2 stories, that can be 3 stories tall. And we're looking closely at that. You take advantage of one incline and then stepping down and stepping down. So the idea of putting in a 3-level sorting facility, we can do that here.
That's right. Just be one and then later on you guys.
That's right. Exactly right. Into these 2, these are canteens and lockers for the employees. We'll serve hot lunch there and do other things. This is the room that I anticipate we will use the least, our infirmary. Actually, that's something to brag about. Throughout construction and operation, we've logged over 1.25 million man-hours of work, and to date we've only had really 3 lost time accidents, and that's saying a lot. From a, it was very difficult in the beginning to get these people to even wear shoes. They didn't want to wear them. They didn't want to wear gloves. They didn't want to put eye protection on. We had to force them to do that, and you know what? It's paid off. Yeah, there's an example of some of the bales, some of the the end result of a recycling operation, the cubes. This is an example of separated bales, primarily on OCC, corrugated cardboard. These are testing bales that we ran through our facility, both the sorting system and through the baling unit.
What the process gone through before it get here?
Oh, well, the process is you would have co-mingled recyclables, and then when you toss them through the sort line, you're able to separate them into different grades. You can see different grades. You can see the 2 piles there. One is primarily OCC. And that's a finer grade. That's what we call a better job of separation. These loads on the right have other papers mixed in with them. That will be a lesser grade of cardboard recycling.
What times of the day you usually have it operating?
Oh, well, right now that line has been commissioned, and that line is going to be receiving recyclables from the city. Part of our agreement with the city is for them to provide some co-mingled recyclables. The same way as we do the same way as we do in Oakland or in San Jose. The recyclables get put together. Somebody goes and picks them up. They take them to a sorting place where then they get separated. The city is working urgently to develop those same programs here in Ho Chi Minh City. As you can imagine, it's a very big shift in what normally happens. So they've been challenged on that a little bit. They work with us, they ask for our input on that, and they listen. And so we expect that to happen very soon. You're on top of the administration building now, and similar to the wastewater treatment, the top of the wastewater treatment tanks you're on, but this affords a better view of the actual landfill. Oh, yeah, watch your step. From here you see, well, basically, we have this 30-hectare area, and trash is dumped in the evening, and trash tonight will go actually right here. You can barely make out where some of these sticks are. So, in fact, our team, in about an hour, will start uncovering that trash. We cover every night, and our team will begin to uncover that trash, making way for the trucks to come in at 6 p.m. The white bags that you see in front, in fact, we're just opening one up now. Those are examples of test runs for compost. That's material that's been processed, then put into that bag, and then we blow air into those bags, and we check the decomposition rate. Down in the foreground here, you have 2 scale houses, each with 2 scales. Yes, these 2 buildings here. That's really the entryway point for every vehicle that comes in here. Every load gets weighed in, every load gets weighed out. While we're in operation, we always have a representative of our lead agency, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment, on the site. They check every single load that comes in and out of this site. They sign off on every weigh ticket that we have. So they witness every load. There's a lot of commingled waste in the trash in Ho Chi Minh City. So we're always on the lookout for potential or hazardous waste. We have a very aggressive, what we call, hazardous waste exclusion program and load check program, where we pick apart various and random loads and we bisect it. We look for anything out of the ordinary to try to identify any industrial or potential hazardous waste that might be getting into this site. We're very aggressive about that. The facility as a whole, as you look upon it, outside of the recycling, employs about 220 people. That's in operations, that's in support, that's in environmental services, that's in engineering departments. We have our own survey crew, and that's also for construction. We had the aid of a contractor building our first phase of this. Now, as we expand our landfill, we're primarily going to do that construction in-house. We have our own mobile equipment, most of our own mobile equipment. All the equipment you see is our own, and we will require very little assistance from the outside in order to expand. I always like pointing this area out to our what we call our south. When you look at that area, that is exactly what this place looked like 5.5 years ago. This place was nothing but bare open swamp. And the first thing we did was level it, build a small temporary berm around it, and then started construction of these formal facilities inside. And that's exactly what we're going to do here in areas to the south and into the east. From a berm standpoint, the temporary berms are built with the native muds. Now, our permanent berms, yes, we have to import those. We import special soil. Most everything we import comes via barge. The rock that we use, the sand, some sand that we use, the soils that we've used, all comes via boat. They park a barge and we unload it onto the site. The initial sand that was placed here for operations, for our working platform, was hydraulically pumped in. And that's a very common practice here. In order to develop a site, they'll level off an area, they'll lay some sheets down, and they'll take and bring barges of sand, and they'll move it with water into the facility. And the water goes away, and the sand stays there.
You said you've received 50% of the trash from the city right now. What is the real capacity of the facility?
Of this facility? Well, with the equipment that I have on hand, I can probably take about 8,000 to 10,000 tons a day.
Which is more than 100%.
Yeah, I could take everything. I mean, if you gave me 2 months, I have no limit on what we can do here. My only limitation really would be the trucks and lining them up through the scales. As you see, I only need to operate one scale system at night, and I have 2. Our cycle time for the city trucks, we keep that down very low, 8 to 10 minutes. And that's, we time them on the way in, time them on the way out. We get them up to the top, and that's through all weather conditions.
So 50% from Ho Chi Minh City is all you take right now, or any other areas around?
No, we just take the waste from the city. We have a neighboring community, right, our next door neighbor, which is not part of that waste scheme, and I think it's about 10 or 15 tons a day, and we take that as well. But it's and we're not looking for other garbage. All right, we honor our city contract. We'd like the city to deliver more to us. We feel this is the best place for it.